a Catholic, if you were part of a secular education, the concept of one God in the universe is very common. Okay? Yet, we are all separate. And what separates us, though we come from the same source, is our ego, our definition of who we are. How is our ego formed? Our ego is nothing but the collective expression of our likes and dislikes. That constitutes our ego. Which means for every like and dislike, I have a memory. And what is a memory? A memory is nothing but an electromagnetic imprint in your brain. So in short, your memories which you judge with an emotion add to your understanding of who you are, which you call your ego. Now as the magnetic axis of the earth is shifting, those electromagnetic resonances are shaking up. So by default, people are going through short-term memory loss. Okay? Which is a very peculiar thing that's happening of late. Simply because that is the universe's way of decoding your ego. So as the magnetic axis shifts, things in your own mind, in your own space, and I come across so many people these days who says, "Sala, kal kya aaj nahi yaad rehta hai." But it's virtually the universe's way by default of shaking up the paradigms of your own ego, so that you come into the pure understanding of love once again. So whether you are a spiritualist or not, in its own way, the universe is conspiring to give this opportunity to a large number of souls to be able to make this shift. That's where we are at the moment. So far, any questions? Well, no question. Oh yes, because otherwise no questions means only one of two things. Either everything went in or everything went out. So we will choose to believe the first. It's happening to many people. And short term, not long term. So ascension is also reality pieces of everything. So for every person who tends to forget, will say no. Okay.
One more thing.
Yes.
When you said that the body totally disappears from the earth,
Yes.
that is what is called moksha.
Yes. So moksha essentially is graduating out of this system. Now you will continue your journey in another system. But yes, for our practical purpose, the way we see nirvana, moksha, it is graduating from this school. Yes, absolutely. There is no karma. Karma exists only in 3D earth. In duality. The moment you start moving into now, the power of now, then see with crystalline DNA what will happen? No karma because you feel it right now. So abilya, folk. Khel khatam. No debts. Clear? Okay. So from now, we change gears. This is as far as the background information is concerned to what's happening in the world with the world of science, etc., etc., etc. If we've largely understood what the process is all about, let's now shift attention to understanding that on a day-to-day basis, in our everyday lives, what can we focus on with our limited awareness so that this transition becomes simple and easy. Remember, no God ever condemned you to hard work. Okay? Hard work is purely the product of a hurt ego that needs to get self-esteem validated by slogging it out. Okay? Life is meant to be effortless. The moment it is effort, it is ego. Okay? So I have to make a lot of effort to succeed. Keep trying till your balls get busted. These are all products of, well, whatever, with due respect to the system. I am now going to take you. The Devi has said continue. Okay. I'll now take you through a simple presentation on the basic laws that govern our universe, our planet. No law is superior or inferior, but the laws operate in descending consciousness. That means, at whichever law you resonate, and if you can pick it up, it will work for you and bring you into this system. Okay? Consciousness is infinite. You know that. So each one of us is an infinite stream of consciousness. But our active awareness is operating at one level. The key is to discover what level we can operate at and make that work for us. Okay? So, don't go into a judgment spree, but I will give you, so for example, if the first law works for you fully, then you are already evolved, finished. Moksha is in your pocket, you can sit and chill. If the first one doesn't work, you come to the second one. If the second one doesn't work, you come to the third one. So it's in descending spirals. Okay? So the highest law of the universe is the law of one. That means we are all one. Now if you truly believe this, and if you truly living it out, then there is nothing separating you from Meera, from Tukaram, from all these dudes right now. So if you saw Kabir, all of Kabir's dohas are operating only on this whole law of one. That I am completely one, not only with the divine, but I see myself in every individual here. Okay? So if I am operating at the law of one, my DNA is already crystalline. Because what you feel, I am feeling instantly. So that's why I pick up your pain. So if somebody is crying, I am also crying. Because this is that part of me outside which is crying. Okay? Now of course, intellectually we all understand this. But we can't live it out. We can't live it out because when we go home from here and if the maid has not cooked the chawal correctly, the law of one will go into the gutter, it will be flushed out very beautifully and the law of master and servant will come into play. Okay? Yeah, so again the idea is no judgment, but the highest law is law of one. So if you are truly operating in oneness, then over and out, you are out of the drama. Let's assume that we can't live this because it is too elevated a concept. One step, ek paidan lower, one step lower. Is the law of unity. So if I can't see myself in all of you, I can't see one, even if I can work with the fact that all of us united become God, that's still good enough, because that's the next level. Since I am not able to see oneness, so I acknowledge you separate from me, I acknowledge you separate from me, I acknowledge you separate from me. But if I can operate out of the consciousness that all of us souls in this world together represent that one force, then also we are good. Which means I can't see me and you as one, but I know that you and I together and all of us together come from the same source. Then this is the next layer of awareness. So law of unity. If you can even accept this, well, good for you, you don't need to waste time with the one below that. The law of karma, incidentally, is the 7th one. That means if you fail at 6 levels, only then does karma come into the picture. Deep break?
No, I was asking, these laws that you're talking about,
Huh.
are the way we operate out of these laws?
Correct.
If we are operating out of any of these laws?
Correct, absolutely. So, the 7th one is law of karma, which we are operating out of by default because we are not able to consistently operate from any of the other 6. So, karma then becomes a default physical principle of energy exchange. But if you could apply any of the others before that, you will be out of karma. Do we need to time a break? Is there a tea break kind of thing? So maybe in about 10 minutes, can I just finish this part of the story? Because then we can take a break and then come back after 15-20 and then continue with the rest of it. Because, so the signal goes to the dude at the back.
I'll just scan it so it gets
Correct, absolutely. Because there must be a lot of restless urinary bladders now. And we don't want another basic law to be violated. The law of cleanliness. Okay. Next we come to the law of assets. So inherently in the law of unity is the tacit acceptance that you and I are different. Because if you and I were identical, then I would be at the law of one. But because I can't accept the law of one, I see you and I as separate. So law of unity, together. Even if I can't accept togetherness, the descending law says every person is unique. That is the law of assets. That means you will not find Xerox copies anywhere. If you look at the one thing that is different between what man creates and what nature creates, is that man-made things can be duplicated down to the T. So if you have a car that is produced in the Toyota factory, you can have another car that is absolutely identically duplicate to the last millimeter gauge of the metal that is used in the car. But what nature creates is always completely unique. So 2 fruits from the same tree, 2 leaves from the same plant, 2 souls from the same womb, even twins, are still essentially completely unique. Now, let's go there. This is good background music. Okay. Karma. In the law of assets, what is a good life for me or for all of you? The best life is a life where you are doing what you would love to do, and everybody else loves you for it. If this can happen, your life is operating in its most sublime space. That means, let's say you love to cook. Everybody in your family loves you for your cooking. Then your khalas, that is Jannat for you. Because you are enjoying it. In the bargain, everybody around you is also blessing you for it. Now this is a win-win situation. So essentially in the law of ascents, I am unique. That uniqueness expresses itself in what I do. And I love to do it. And if everybody loves me for it, then I'm over and out. Now the flip part of this is, if you are unique,